How have you been and how are the preparation for Fringe going on?
Hello. It's been good. I've been good. I arrived 2 days ago, so I think I have broken through the jet lag slump officially. I did just take a nap, which I'm really hoping didn't set me back completely. But things have been going good. It's definitely like overwhelming but exciting. I had a tech rehearsal and I have a dress rehearsal tonight, so I feel like in terms of the show prep, things are going well. And I'm excited. I'm just really antsy to see shows and meet people and like dive into it. I've been here for a few days and everything starts tomorrow, so I'm excited. I'm really excited. And I'm staying in such an oasis. I'm staying in a place that's so the apartment I'm in is so calming, and so I'm really looking forward to having a space to come back to relax.
So I think that after the show, you would have more material about Edinburgh also.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to just like chill.
And how did it all began? You as a playwright, as a writer. So how did it all started? Do you remember your first play that you wrote or performed?
This is the only play that I've ever written, which maybe is not great for marketing, but it is an autobiographical show. So it kind of like wrote itself a little bit in the beginning because the show is based off of my journal entries that I discovered a few years ago. So um, a lot of the play are these journal entries that I wrote in as a child. So it's funny, like half of the show I wrote 20 years ago because they're all from my childhood. So,
Yeah.
yeah, this is the first show that I've ever written as an adult, the first play, but I've been performing since I was little, doing theater and comedy, mostly sketch comedy and improv and plays and things like that. But um, yeah, I'm excited. I've been performing this show for a few years now, so I'm excited to get back into it.
But so you have performed before also. You have done a lot of theaters and sketch comedy. Do you remember getting your first laugh on stage, getting your first laugh or applaud?
I was in a show, I think I do. I was in a show called Country Mouse City Mouse when I was like 5 years old. And I do not remember any part of the show except for the director let me like cross my eyes at one point on stage. And that was well received. Like I made like a silly face and crossed my eyes and was like a little mouse. And I remember that being well received. And I remember being like, I'm into this. Uh, but yeah, I was 5 and it was like, I loved doing the plays at school and I loved doing the comedic roles. I think it was just fun to know that I was making my parents laugh in the audience. That was always like, it felt special.
But what was the favorite play that you did apart from this?
I did a show. So my theater teacher, who is featured in my show, wrote a play called Desperate Princesses, which was a parody of Desperate Housewives. And it was all the kids wore like crazy wigs and dressed up as different princesses. But we were like, it was very much mapped onto a Desperate Housewives script. And a lot of the jokes went totally over the kids' heads, but the audience were adults and they understood it and they really liked it. So I think that was my favorite play that I did. I really liked doing that.
So have you done more parodies after that?
I guess not parody since. And I haven't been in like a proper play except for this one in a while. But I was doing the Second City in New York, and that was a ton of sketch, all sketch and improv. And that was a lot of fun. And I also am a part of a few improv groups in New York. Um, and me and my friends are developing a play. So I kind of am like performing. I try to be involved in as many projects as possible.
So you like to like collect knowledge from everywhere, be a part of it so that you can collect as much experience as you can.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And I imagine since you have been performing for so long, there is nothing like fear of stage or anything.
Well, you would think that I have conquered that. I still get such stage fright before every show. I think, especially this one at Jenna, because I'm the only person on stage. I have an amazing actor that's off stage with me that is saying lines into a microphone. And so I'm really glad that I can lean on him and I have him. But being the only one on stage telling a story that's so personal to me definitely is still terrifying. Like that I never feel like completely calm before going on stage. While I'm performing it, I feel better, but the nerves and the jitters before are scary for sure.
So about the show Jenna, we'll talk about what the show is, but I want to know that when did you get the idea that you can turn your journaling and your obsession with Jenna Fischer into a show?
So I went on a podcast called Mortified Live. This was probably in 2021 or 2022. And Mortified Live is it's a live podcast where you perform in front of an audience of people and you read snippets of your journal entries, just like chunks of them. And it's such a fun show. It's an amazing community and experience. And the audience is so loving and they know that they're going to arrive to watch journal entry readings. And so I did that show. And after that, I was really inspired by the positive feedback and also talking to other people who had had really similar experiences with crushes that really shaped them as a child. And so I went back to the journals and discovered more. And then from there, started building a bit more of like a story arc and realized that the journal entries could be embedded within a larger structure. So that's how the beginning of the show started, from that podcast.
Yeah. And how did the journaling began? When did you start journaling?
I started when I was like 9 years old and I would do it religiously. I mean, I was like obsessed with writing as much detail down as possible. And I think I was doing that really with the intention of one day being able to read the journal entries and be able to look back and think they were funny or sweet or cringy. Like, I think I knew when I was writing them that I would look back on them one day. I didn't know that I would write a show about them, but I think I thought that it would just be fun to like read them as an adult. And it has been fun and completely cringy and embarrassing and insane. But yeah, when I was 9 years old, I started.
But were there only written journals or were there some junks also, some images, some stickers that you used to decorate journals?
Definitely some stickers and drawings. Almost every journal almost every journal entry has an accompanying drawing, and those are very featured in my show as well. Those are very illuminating of what I was going through.
So, guys, I would like to tell you that Winnie Stack is bringing her show at Jenna to the Edinburgh Fringe. And you might think that this show is about Jenna Fischer, the actress, and you're absolutely right. This show is about her, as she said, gay awakening when she first saw Jenna Fischer in the office. And today she'll tell us how this show came into life and what's her obsession with Jenna Fischer and how did it all began. So, how was that gay awakening you had with Jenna when you first saw Pam in office?
Well, I was 11. I was 10 or 11, and I did not know, I didn't register that anything was happening. When I first saw her, I was just like, oh my God, I'm completely obsessed with this person. And the journal entries very much map me going from an inkling of a feeling to being really excited about her and completely diving into her career and her life and the character Pam. And then as I get older, those kind of thoughts and feelings begin to expand, where I'm noticing ways that I'm different from my peers. I was obsessed with a 30-year-old woman on TV, whereas everyone else was into like Zac Efron or, High School Musical and playing handball and Neopets and things. And I was obsessed with those things too. But Jenna Fischer was definitely taking center stage for me. So yeah, I think it started off, I really didn't understand the feelings that I was having in the beginning. I was too young to have the language to describe what was happening for me. But then the journals very much track me understanding myself a little bit better as I get older.
But this show isn't just about Jenna Fischer. It's basically kind of a personification of your journals.
Yes, yeah, personification of my journals, personification of a tree that lived in my backyard that I told everything to. So there is another character in the show, and he is played by my two lovely friends that are also doing shows here at Fringe. And he's a big part of the show. He was the one kind of I very much anthropomorphized this tree growing up, and he's who I told everything to. The only like living entity that knew my true, honest feelings. So the show very much maps these journal entries alongside what I was telling this tree, and trying to just understand myself as I grew older.
But this must be a little bit difficult for you because journal is something which is very personal, and you are always honest to your journal. And you also mentioned that you were honest to the tree in your backyard that you
Mm-hmm.
had. But now you are presenting your honesty to the audience, to a group of strangers. How difficult was it for you to like accept that, okay, I'm going to present my true self in front of the audience and make it funny?
It was tough. I do think that the first time I performed the show afterwards, I felt really weird. I felt very exposed and like embarrassed. I think my initial feeling was like, "Oh my god, I've revealed too much." Like that was cringy and embarrassing, and I'm going to be judged. And then I realized that the point of the whole show is sort of embracing that, and because it is so vulnerable, and that was what was happening in my inner world, it does feel empowering and cool, and also still cringy and embarrassing to reveal all of those parts now in front of an audience. I wish I could tell my younger self that the feelings and thoughts that I was having when I was younger, that the feelings and thoughts that I was having that felt so isolated and personal to me, I didn't realize so many other people were also experiencing. Like childhood is just confusing inherently and weird and awkward and embarrassing and illuminating. And anyway, I think that it feels nice now to reveal audience. The show is being able to connect with other people that went through the exact same.
So this show is going to be a journey. Like we'll see different versions of you at different ages.
Mm-hmm.
And how did you bring that humor in every different age? Because when you talk about a person's, humor when he's growing up, when that person is growing up, the kind of humor he like consumes or even like gives out, it's very different.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there any difference in all these phases of your life in the like comedy? Is there any difference in the comedy at every phase of your life?
I think that's a great question. I think there's a lot of physical comedy throughout the show. Each kind of milestone, each elementary, middle, and high school are and college are mapped out in the show through a big kind of dance. Being at the dances that kind of shaped were these kind of benchmarks for getting older. So I think a lot of the comedy is found, or I hope is found in the audience being able to relate to the feelings of uncomfortableness, awkwardness, embarrassment, but also like the joyous parts of growing up, the things that were so exciting and all consuming. So I think the comedy, I think I didn't set out to specifically try to find the comedy, but instead try to remain as completely honest and truthful to what I was going through in the moment and hope that it is relatable to who's watching it.
I just checked out the posters of Jenna, and honestly, they look very innocent.
Mhm.
How innocent is this show?
I would say, I guess the show is, I mean, it's innocent in the sense that it is journal entries from when I was young and just simply did not have the language to uh, describe what I was feeling. So I think um, the innocence comes from the audience being able to listen and watch what a true 11-year-old is going through. So I guess it's innocent in that sense, but some of the drawings I would say that are in the show and the language used are a little more adult themed.
Yeah, obviously, it's coming of age, right? It's a coming of age show.
Yeah, yeah.
So you said physical comedy. What other elements could we expect? Is there going to be any crowd interaction or something like that, or anything else?
There's a lot of physical comedy, and there's a lot of multimedia elements. So throughout the show, I'll be very much showing the real life journal entries as well as the real life drawings that I drew. There's some home videos, there's some photographs from my childhood. So there's a lot of multimedia elements throughout. Some pop culture references. So Keynote is used throughout the show, and I would say multimedia. I guess it is in a really intimate space, and because the show is very rooted in storytelling, it's a very much like I'm talking directly to the audience. I would say there is some audience interaction because it's sort of a one-to-one storytelling experience.
So I was having this interview with another artist also, and we had this conversation that sharing something embarrassing about yourself and making it look funny rather than stupid,
Mm,
that's really difficult.
mm.
So did you like focused on that part that you have to make it look funny rather than being stupid?
I think I didn't want to make that differentiation because I think that the more I think I tried to focus more on what is the most honest I can be, and if that comes off as totally embarrassing and uncomfortable, then I think that means that's because it is the most honest it can be. So if the audience, so of course, like no doubt, some audience members might think that it's stupid or like, oh my God, why would you be showing these things? But I hope that the content and the base of the show will relate to those people. That I hope that it helps them feel more seen. And while it is my personal story, it does touch upon universal themes that I think everyone can relate to with growing up and with coming of age. So I hope that those cringy, truthful moments hit home for the people that are open to it.
And you have been doing this show for a while. So what was the best feedback that you got on the show?
Oh, well, I think it's been really fun listening to other people's crushes. That's been like a great part of doing the show is chatting with folks afterwards who either also had celebrity crushes that were deeply influential or could relate to other parts of the story that had nothing to do with sexuality or crushes and were more rooted in like the show is there's moments of the show talking about going to school dances, your first school sleepover, slumber party, how difficult middle school can be, your first kiss. Like, I really hit on those firsts for me. And so it's fun to hear about other people's experiences that are either similar or different, and what landed for them is always fun to hear.
And now the tough question. Was there any phase in this tour that you've been doing this with show that you were like, okay, this show might not be it? Was there any such phase?
Totally. I feel like throughout the show, throughout the rehearsal process, there's always, especially because it's my own story, like it's really hard to see outside of it and not judge it myself. Like I've had to learn to be kind to myself and I think trust feedback, but also make sure that I'm doing what feels good and honest to me. And I think there's definitely like doubt throughout the whole process, which is really helpful because it helps me either go back to the drawing board to make edits. But also it's a good lesson of like trying to feel confident. But yeah, I think throughout there's always going to be a moment of like, oh God, like this feels crazy, or I don't know if this moment works, or this moment works, but it needs this tweak. Like, I think I'm always a fan of making sure that everything can feel the best it can be, especially because it is so vulnerable. But I'm looking forward to kind of tweaking it as Fringe goes. I'm sure that the audience feedback will be really helpful in that.
And now coming back to a little bit of your personal Instagram, I actually checked something that you're not just limited to comedy on your Instagram, but you're doing a lot of sketches.
Yeah.
You're doing a lot of shows, and there is this episode that you're currently running called the Honk series, I guess.
Called the Witch series?
The Honk, I guess it's Honk. You have released 2 episodes. I saw it on your
Oh,
page.
my friends, they started a group, kind of like a multimedia page that they're still developing it, but it's called Garden Unit, and they're incredible at making these scenes happen. And it's all based off of improv.
Ah, so have you done improv?
Yes. Yeah, I've been doing improv. So I did improv at the Second City and UCB, and I I feel like improv gives me a different type of anxiety. But it's also so fun. I love doing it, and also that is really free falling into the unknown, and so much reliance and trust on the people that you're doing it with. So I love to do improv with my friends that are like I have so many incredible improviser friends that I learn from all while watching them, and yeah, it's been fun.
So did improv help you get over your anxiety, or did it just amplified it?
I think I think it helped. I think it did help. I think it was like a good practice in sort of like letting go. So I think it did. The more I do it, the more it helps. Yeah, just be a lesson in like in letting go and having fun with letting go, and whether it lands or not.
So
Oh,
I actually wanted to ask you this question ever since you mentioned journal.
uh-huh.
So I have been associated with people who do journal, and I think that journaling is a way to get your emotions out,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're performing that journal on stage. Performing something on stage is also a way of getting your emotions out.
Yeah,
So you're
totally.
doing two folds of it. How free does the show feel then?
Totally. That's a great question. I think it definitely feels cathartic. I've been, I will say, like, yeah, no, yeah, totally. It feels extremely freeing and cathartic, and scary, like all wrapped up into one. I think just like any show, sometimes you're really in it and you're having a great night, and then other times you might be distracted or going through something in your life or focused on other things. So I think I'm looking forward to I'm performing the show 27 times. So I am looking forward to finding those pockets of the shows where it feels especially freeing. And I think I'm just accepting that there'll be the occasional show where maybe I'm not feeling it as much, but I'm going to do my best to feel it every show. But yeah, it's very freeing.
So you mentioned there are dances in the show, right? And
Hmm.
I don't know if you're supposed to talk about it, but so is there a choreographer or
There's not a choreographer. That would be awesome if one day there was a choreographer for the show. There's not a choreographer. It is just kind of me dancing, and there are dance numbers that involve other people, but it is still solo. So, um, yeah, I would love a choreographer, but it is just me left to my own devices and my own choreography. So I wouldn't say it's too advanced, but it is fun to do.
and what is after Fringe? Are you going to take this show and you are going to write a new one?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it would be awesome to. I hope that I can continue to perform this show. I don't know about writing a new one just yet. I think I'll probably want to take a beat post Fringe just to like get my bearings back to it all. And I think I'm looking forward to seeing how the show is received and how it is grown throughout the Fringe process. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, another run of it somewhere.
And growing up, what were your favorite plays to watch? Did you watch any plays or any shows that were your favorites?
Yes, I loved watching televised plays on the TV. So I don't know what they would be called. Like what I don't actually know how it was possible that we were watching those. But Peter Pan, there's a televised version of Peter Pan. A woman is playing Peter. I of course don't remember her name. She was unbelievable. It's such a good show. So I loved watching that as a kid. And of course, like, as I got old, I loved That's So Raven was like a huge comedic inspo. That's So Raven and Even Stevens, my sister and I loved. And those shows were like hugely inspiring comedically. I mean, we would just die laughing at those shows. But I loved musical theater and still do. So also watching like watching any live shows, I loved.
Uh,
Yeah.
did you watch Fiddler on the Roof somehow? I
Oh, yes. Was that a lot? I've seen Fiddler on the Roof, but I
It's
think
that,
I've seen the movie, not the production. I've never seen the production.
yeah, I haven't. Yeah, the Lakayam one. That's the one.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yes. Yeah, Fiddler on the Roof and I loved Hairspray. I also really, really got into Hairspray.
And what's your favorite part about the show, Jenna?
My favorite part, I think my favorite part is the dancing. The dancing helps me get out of my body and remember and remind myself that it's just fun and it's supposed to be fun. And and I think it helps connect me to myself and the audience. Yeah, I like the dancing elements the best.
Thank you so much for this interview,
Thank
and
you.
I hope you liked it because I surely did.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. This was so much fun.
And I was just actually having a journal workshop a couple of weeks after this. I'm having
No way.
a journaling workshop. A friend of mine is conducting it. So talking
Oh
to
my
you about
God.
yeah.
Fun. Wait, are you a journaler?
No, I'm not a journaler, but because it requires a little bit of precision, and I am more clumsy. So
Oh, I'm not a journaler anymore, so I get it. But that's awesome. What a coincidence.
yeah, thank you so much for this, and all the best for the French.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye.